Hey traders, welcome back to the FX YouTube channel. I hope everyone is good today. In this video, I'll go over the recent price action and analyze the markets to give some ideas where price may want to go today. Yesterday's Euro PMI gave us a nice push to the upside, and the US PMI gave us continuation, and since price has started to pull back. Let's have a look at the charts and I'll explain in more detail. And just a quick reminder, if you find value while watching this video, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Starting with the fundamentals, the only thing I can see on the radar is preliminary GDP for the US, which comes out 30 minutes after New York open. To be honest, I'm not familiar with this event and not sure the impact it may have on the markets. Moving on to DXY. So for DXY on the 4-hour, you can see yesterday DXY came to the very top of supply and had a reaction off of it. I would have preferred a sweep, but it barely missed it. Thereafter, DXY impulsed to the downside, broke 4-hour last point of demand, and then pulled back. Since then, we saw DXY push to the upside after Japan opened, where we essentially are right now. So if we go to the 15-minute, so on the 15-minute time frame, you can see more clearly that we failed to break the previous high, so we barely missed it, but then started to push down after Germany's PMI announcement, then with a pullback and some consolidation, and then continuation after the US PMI announcement. So DXY continued to the downside, where came into demand, it broke the demand, and the last point, the 4-hour last point of demand. And since it had initial reaction, came back down for a retest, and thereafter it's been essentially pulling back ever since. And then in Asia, there was one last push down right at Japan Open, and thereafter the price started pushing upwards to the area where we're currently at right now. It's since consolidated in the current range. DXY did show some signs of weakness, but failed to push further to the downside until now. So right now we can clearly see that DXY is showing some signs of weakness now. And for my bias, although DXY has been very bullish, the push down that broke last point of demand is a clear sign that we may see the pullback I was expecting. But for now, it's not completely clear, although the picture is becoming a little more clear now that we broke this demand level. As well as this demand level. And literally that just happened as I was preparing the video. But I still could see DXY pushing up a little higher, maybe back into the previous supply range before coming down, assuming it does come down. But now that we are seeing some clear signs of weakness now, potentially it just may start coming down from here. But at the same time, we do have Frankfurt Open and London Open, which could push the price back up before it pushes back down, assuming it wants to come down. So next, let's have a look at EU. So for EU, if you look at that PMI candle, it didn't really break anything. It created this huge candle to the upside, but then pulled back, creating this huge wick. And then we had a significant pullback ever since then. So for EU, there's less signs that it wants to push further to the upside. For the bearish scenario, I could say that we pulled back, cleared the 4-hour imbalance, nearly tapped into supply. We missed this supply zone right here, and we'll continue lower from here on out. But for the bullish scenario, price is showing its first sign of strength. And potentially we could expect the price to come back to one of the demand levels below, where whether it be this flip zone here or the lower demand at the extreme, and reverse from there and continue to the upside. If we go on the 15-minute time frame, so you can see here at Japan Open, we had that nice pullback, and then price pushing down thereafter into the flip zone that we have down here, which was created on the last push up. So we have our high here. We can assume this is our supply. We have the reaction off supply. It's more clear on the 5-minute where we created this flip zone. And price tapped into that. There was also a refined 1-minute demand zone where it had a huge reaction off of, pushing to the upside. But then it did play around and didn't give any signs of strength until now. So as I was preparing this video, price was way down here. Just let me mark this up really quick. So what else can you see here? So if we just really quickly mark the fibs, so this was the last leg that impulse to the upside thanks to PMI. What you can see is we pulled back to this demand zone, which coincides with the 618 fib retracement level. So potentially, I mean, this could be a good level to look for longs from. For now, in terms of my bias, I'm quite neutral. I'm currently in a long position, so I took a long actually from this low. I've been holding it, and it was in drawdown a couple times in this area. But fortunately, my stop loss held. My stop loss was just below the low. And we've seen a nice push to the upside since then. But I'll continue to watch this 5-minute demand zone. If price does come back and retest it, say for example, comes back, takes me out of my trade, because my trade is not at the very bottom. It's maybe halfway up from this wick. So I'll leave my break even for the time being, as we had that nice push up. But if price does come back down and take me out, I'll continue to watch this flip zone for potential entries to take the price to the upside. And even if the price comes even lower into the 4-hour demand, or potentially this 15-minute demand zone, I'll even look for entries there. But at the same time, I will keep my eye open for potential shorting scenarios if we get any. Like say for example, price comes all the way back to the Japan Open area where we impulse down. This could potentially be a good area for looking for shorts from. What is this? This is 15-minute. There's also a 15-minute supply above, which would also make sense because it could take out the highs that were created in Asia, use this area of liquidity as inducement, come slightly higher into the supply zone right here, and thereafter come right back down. So come into this zone, maybe have a reaction off of it, and then push higher, starts to slow down, and then taps into this 15-minute supply range, shows a shift. Try to get in on a pullback to take it to the downside. But honestly, I mean, these would probably be the only areas, or maybe above, that I would look for shorts. I'm hoping we get that reversal though, and price starts to push to the upside. Just not sure if the area that I'm currently long from is actually going to hold or not. Potentially during Frankfurt or London Open, we could see the price push lower before we see any reversals, or we could see one of these scenarios where we have a shorting opportunity, comes down and breaks the current low, comes down into lower demand, and then reverses from there and push up. But for now, I won't be looking into shorts until we start to get into one of these supply zones. And if price, well, I can't see price reversing from here now. It's more likely to come into one of the supply zones before reversing. So that's more or less the scenarios that I'm seeing for right now. So anyways, that sums up today's analysis. Hopefully you guys found it useful. Let me know your thoughts on today's price action by leaving a comment below. And as a reminder, if you found value in this video, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe to ensure you don't miss any future videos. And last but not least, if you want to support me, my affiliate links to all my favorite prop firms and brokers that I'm currently trading with are linked in the description below. Although I am funded at my Forex funds and FTMO, if you've watched any of my recent videos, you know that I have a lot of good things to say about funded next. So be sure to check them out too. And I'm wishing you all a good trading day today, and look forward to seeing you again for the next one. See you guys soon. Peace. Hey, you made it to the very end. Thanks for that. If you could do me one more favor and click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, it'll allow the YouTube algos to kick in and help this channel grow. Thanks again. Cheers.